There's one. Right on the bottom. Be a white bass. Be a big old white bass. That's exactly what it is. Nice one too. Up you come. All right. Hey, welcome back everybody. Your Southwest Outdoors Report is on the air today from Richland Chanbers Reservoir, talking about the big threadfin shad kill that we had last winter time when the water temperature got down in the 30s, which is too cold for shad. I can drive across these big flats in many of our lakes where normally my Lowrance sonar screen would just be blacked out with shad and it's almost barren. So you have to adapt your techniques to catch these fish since they're not schooling on the top. We'll let that one go back. I'm not keeping them today. I caught that one on a slab spoon that looks like a threadfin shad. Even though there's not a lot of these shad in here, these fish are really keyed in on something shiny and just about the size of a threadfin. So what you've got to do is fish on the bottom, get on a big flat off a main creek or river channel out on the main lake, run with your sonar up and down until you see some hook echoes, those are fish, and then bounce a slab or a jigging spoon straight up and down vertically off the bottom. If you do happen to see a school, stay in that area. Now, I showed you a big school of whites that came up just for about 10 minutes a little bit earlier. They went right back down. I haven't seen them since, but the fish are still in this same area and I've just got to grub them out on the bottom with a spoon.
Hi friends, Cajun Phil here with your Fox, Louisiana Fish Report. I tell you what, I just got back from about a whole week down in the southeastern part of the state. Matter of fact, supposedly the all-filled areas. Here's what we did, folks. I was down there for about 5 days. We went all through the Biloxi Marsh. We went all through Hopedale, all through Delacroix. One day we drove over 90 miles. You can see all the booms. We saw miles and miles of all booms set out all over the coastline. We looked at the grass. We didn't see any oil. We looked for oil slicks. We didn't see any oil slicks. I tell you what we did see though, we saw several hundred workers. They had shrimp boats, oyster boats, fishermen, barges, they had airboats, they had everything in the world going out and doing their work, but we didn't see any oil. One thing we did do, we caught some speckled trout and redfish. We had a blast. I tell you what, fishing is hot and heavy. We talked about 8 or 9 guys at all the different marinas. Every one of them was catching speckled trout and redfish. We did not see any sign of any oil. It all seems to be down there, maybe some little concentrated areas around Venice, but we didn't see anywhere we fish. You want to make a good trip? Give us a call, come on down, let's do some fishing.
This week on Barry's Real Fishing, we check out a great method to catch crappie in the summer. Here's Barry with more information on one of his favorite techniques.
Today, I'd like to teach you my all-time favorite technique for catching crappie. It's highly effective and efficient, and it's called strolling. The technique involves two light to medium action spinning rod and reel setups, 6-pound test Berkeley transoptic line, and a heavy-headed crappie jig that I'll show you later. And it involves my Motor Guide Digital Tour Edition trolling motor on very low speed. There's one. So you got 2 rods right here. You got to put one down. Oh, he's got the bends. Ooh, look at that crappie right there. That's what can happen on a strolling technique. Here's the how part. Take a spinning rod in each hand. Open both bails. Drop those jigs to the bottom. Once they reach the bottom, your line goes slack. Click the bail back into gear. Gently lift the jig off the bottom 6 inches to a foot and hold it very steady. No jigging, no hopping, no bouncing required. There's one. Put that rod down, he's swimming straight to the top. Good crappie. There we go. Good solid slab right there. Another one for the frying skillet. The depth of water this technique works best in is anything from 10 feet to 40 feet. Ooh, that's a good pull. Oh, strolling will catch you a big boy, and look, way down deep in there, we've got my Bobby Garland way deep. The crappie jigs I'm using are my all-time favorites. They're the Bobby Garland Mo-Glo 1/8 and 3/16 ounce jig heads with the slabbed Slayer bodies in the bright colors like you see here. This technique is not recommended around brush, rocks, weeds, or stumps. You'll stay snagged all day long. I think if you'll try my all-time favorite strolling technique, you too just might catch some of these this weekend for yourself. Have fun out there.
Stay with us for the latest fishing updates from Texas, but first, here's a look at the current standings in the CCA State of Texas Anglers Rodeo. We have 2 new leaders this week in the scholarship division. This year's competition is offering more than $1 million in prizes, but you must be a member of CCA to participate. Visit their website for all of the details.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by your Texas Chevy dealers, is brought to you by Abu Garcia for life, by Navionics, we start where the road ends, by Whataburger, just like you like it, and by Mercury Outboards, #1 on the water.